Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again. And before we start today's video, please hit the subscribe button on the channel. We really are trying to push, the YouTube side of things. So your support does mean a great deal, and we'll keep these videos coming for you. I hope also everybody enjoyed the podcast that Ian did yesterday. Highly recommended. Did it whilst I was doing some jobs and getting caught up and ready, so I can head up north to St James's Park tomorrow to watch Newcastle United, complete with the gold badges on the sleeves, taking on Bradford. It's going to be a difficult game. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Bradford, form team in League One, leading the way down there, playing some good stuff. Good manager who knows Eddie Howe well. We'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, it's not going to be an easy game, and we are going to be rotating in this match. So some of our senior lads, 3 games in a week, they're not going to be playing in this game, so I do expect a much changed side. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Eddie Howe at his press conference earlier on spoke. First of all, we'll get this one out of the way. Johan Wisse, no operation. He will be back for the Brighton game after the international break. It can't come soon enough for me. I think he's been such a miss. He's not even did like one even training session for us, and he's of that importance because of the position that he plays, and the situation around Walter Madra and being able to rotate him and bring him in gradually. It'll be a huge player to get back. So glad that we got a little bit of an update. Everything's still on course for him, and he's looking like being back for the Brighton game after the international break. So for once, an international break has come at just the right bloody time. Although there is a few matches between then and now, of course. Yeah, defending champions Newcastle United. And he said, look, it's going to be a difficult job, informed team. We are going to have to rotate, but he is deadly serious about getting back to Wembley and repeating the experience of 191 days ago. It's a day I will never ever forget. As long as I live, I've seen some things today about well, it shouldn't be our priority this season. We should target the FA Cup or whatnot. No, you're talking absolute shite as far as I'm concerned. This is a competition season in, season out that we need to be taken deadly seriously. An opportunity to obviously get some sort of European football. It's a chance of getting our hands on a trophy. It's a day out for the fans. It is one, like I said, that I personally will never forget. I can still the sounds, the sights, and everything on that day I can live so vividly. The date's up in my office, the date that we won the cup. I look at it all the time. I've got the medal there and the other merch and stuff like that. But for somebody who's waited decades to be finally able to see us lift a trophy, lost for words, emotional, all of those sorts of things, that will live with me. It will not leave my side that day. So anyone saying that's not so much of a priority this year, we've done that. We've won one. Yeah, we've won one. I want to win two. I want to win. I want to win everything, preferably as a Newcastle United fan. So we will go as just as far as we can. We're defending the bloody trophy. We've got to make a decent fist of it. And the way that the draw's been done, it's obviously been favourable to us this time around. And you only have to win a couple of games, and you're literally balls deep into the competition. So why wouldn't you? It's an absolute and utter no-brainer for me. I know people will say it doesn't help your PSR and all this. Not everything in football is about bloody PSR or VAR or any other initials that you want to come up with. Sometimes it's just about the experience, the day, winning something, being successful, and success breeds success, like money breeds money and all that sort of thing. So yes, it isn't a big money spinner. We probably earn more in defeat against Barcelona than what we would for winning the League Cup. But it's not about that. It's not about that. It's about getting through to the next round, and trying to get back to Wembley at the end of the day. So we've not done badly, have we? A final, and then obviously winning it in the last couple of years. Let's just keep it up. Keep it up, lads. Another trophy that would be absolutely fucking fantastic. Who wouldn't want another party like what we had last time? That's what I want to know. Eddie Howe spoke in his press conference today about protecting Voltemade. Talked about the difference between the German league and the English Premier League, the competition over here. Talked about him cramping up after 45 minutes when he was playing Wolves, and then protecting them against Barcelona, not letting them see the match out, obviously, at the weekend as well. And it's just about baby steps and integration and him getting used to the system. and the rest of the lads getting used to him and how he likes it. So I don't expect to see him tomorrow. At best on the bench, but honestly, I don't expect to see him at all. I think young Neve will be on the bench, and I think Asula will start up top. But we'll get to the team in a little bit. It's great as well. I finally have Anthony Gordon back, and I hope and I pray and I've got everything crossed that he'll actually play in his position, because you saw against Barcelona, you know, um, the difference in his game when he was playing from centre forward to playing out wide left. He scored from out the wide left. I just think it suits him. It's a World Cup year. He's going to want to be playing in his position, and hopefully he plays Asula up top and plays Gordon out to the left, because he's talked, hasn't he, Gordon, about being re-energized, and he had a bit of a difficult time, and his form dipped, didn't it, during parts of the year. But he spoke about having a good pre-season, coming back, recharged, refreshed, re-energised, wanting to prove a point and wanting to get into the England World Cup, not only squad, but actually in the starting 11. So definitely play him tomorrow. He's had a bit of a foolish thing. He's had the red cards and stuff like that, but put him back in tomorrow and give him an opportunity and a platform to be able to start to repay some of that back, because no doubt it's had an effect, hasn't it, on results, Gordon not being in there. But yeah, I think Gordon starts tomorrow against Bradford. Little by little, I'm giving you the team, but we'll get to it again at the end. Yeah, Asula up top. He was asked a lot about Asula. Again, spoke very glowingly and praising Asula's efforts and his development and stuff. That is despite the fact we nearly sold him to Eddie over the summer. 30 million quid. If somebody comes back in with another offer like that in January, he's got to be gone. Like I touched upon, I think Neve will be on the bench. Eddie spoke a lot about, like I say, wanting more glory, wanting more days like what we had 191 days ago back at Wembley. And I don't blame him. I want some more of those as well too. I've had to wait long enough, how many decades, for that first taste of it. And let's have it like buses or cabs or whatever you want to call it. Once one come, they all come. So yeah, definitely for me. And yeah, it gives these squad players an opportunity, a chance to shine. And he spoke about Willock, and he spoke about Miley, and spoke about, look, once you're given the chances, it's up to you to play, to keep the shirt, to impress me, to get future minutes and future games. And I think they didn't have the best of games, to be honest, those two at the weekend. But I think one certainly seized his opportunity far more than the other. But again, we'll get to this in a little bit with the team. But again, little hint. I think those two are going to be able to be playing in that match as well, and keep others back and fresh for the challenge of Arsenal coming up at the weekend. Another big game. Yeah, so the team. We'll get to the team now. I think this season Ramsdale will be a cup keeper. So I think he'll play in the FA Cup. I think he'll play in the League Cup. That's my hunch. So tomorrow, he's going to come in. He's going to start. It's a bit of pressure back on him. We've spoke before about Ramsdale being there and that putting pressure on Pope. Pope's delivered. You know how many clean sheets? Four out of five. You only had to see towards the end of the game at the weekend down at the Vitality. He had to keep his concentration. That shot right at the end, it was going in. He got down well, got a good strong hand to it, saved the day for Newcastle United and helped us, at least keep a point. So he's played really, really well, Nick Pope. He's responded to the challenge. He's responded to the critique, and he's playing some good stuff. Ramsdale comes in. The pressure's on him now. He's got to perform. He's got to impress Eddie Howe given the opportunity. Across the back, I've ummed and ahed about this one because originally I'd gone for having Kraft at right back. But I think the likelihood is we're going to play a free at the back against Arsenal. And I think go for a repeat of what worked well earlier in the year when Botman was an absolute sensation against Arsenal. I think Botman will play. He'll come in alongside Chow and alongside Byrne against Arsenal. So I think today, today as you're probably watching this, but for the Bradford game, I think he'll put the experience of Trippier in at right back, and then he'll go for a makeshift defence. Oh my word. It's been a long day. It really has. It's been a long, stressful day, to be honest, today. And I think he'll put Emil Kraft alongside Jamal Lascelles, who got a few minutes towards the end of the last game. Again, another player who needs minutes. And again, a player who's coming up his contract at the end of the season, he has to impress. You've got to take the opportunities when you're given them. And tomorrow is a huge opportunity for Jamal Lascelles. So I think it'll be Lascelles and Kraft at the back. And Lewis Hall, he needs the minutes. I thought in large spells he looked really good at the weekend. I think he started a little bit ropey and nervy. That's to be expected, having not played since what, February was it? So ring rust, definitely. But yeah, more than satisfied, more than impressed with his work, and I think he'll give us a real good attacking advantage down that left-hand side. In midfield, I think the aforementioned Lewis Miley and Joe Willock will play. I think Joe Willock, he needs a massive, massive game because I just cannot remember the last time that he played particularly well for Newcastle United. I think Miley hasn't been given much of an opportunity. He was all right. He was good in spells at the weekend, but you can cast your mind back to when he played as a six against Nottingham Forest. And look at, those are decent performances. Those are good performances. And I think there's a lot more to come from Miley. Willock, to me, there's a question mark, but these are the perfect opportunities to get a run of games and to discover a little bit of that mojo back and get into your stride. And I think he's the sort of player who needs a run of games. So one game, a little bit green rusty, not playing great. A second game, let's see if there's any progression there and how he's handling business and if he looks like the old Joe Willock, because a Joe Willock at the top of his game is some player, let me tell you that. Absolutely and utterly rapid. Then either side, obviously with there's the extra midfielder, but I'll get to them in a minute. The wingers on either side. I think he will go for a Langer on one side, again just for his pace, causing havoc, running at their defenders, making space, getting shots away. Somebody who can tug up and get alongside a Sula as well. So perhaps sometimes we can go with a two up top. So I think Alanga on one side, Gordon, like I mentioned, on the other, Asula up top. And the reason I've left this other midfielder to last is because it's a difficult one. It's a coin toss. You've either got Joe Linton, who's still nursing a knee complaint and he's being taken and handled very, very carefully. Or you've got Bruno. Bruno doesn't like to miss too many games. What, 68 before he was dropped at the weekend? Dropped, rested, you know what I mean. I don't imagine Bruno will want to miss another game, but you do have to think about the Arsenal one. So I think it'll probably be Bruno starting the game as captain, and then Joe Linton coming on for him in the second half. So I think Bruno, you might see him for 60 minutes, stick Joe Linton on for another 30 minutes, and Joe Linton just to try and see the game out. Hopefully, we've got a few goals by then, and we just literally game management or clock at that time. Um, because again, we've got to rest players. At least then, Bruno's not playing a full game. Joe Linton's not playing a full game. Tenali, he's played literally every minute, hasn't he? All over. He's rested, protected, ready for the weekend. I think, 3 games in a week is enough. And I do think that Miley and Willock need the minutes. They need the opportunity. They need the platform to be able to impress the fans. And most importantly, the gaffer, Eddie Howe. And it could be a little bit feisty on the sidelines. A little bit of info coming out today about a little bit of beef that the Graham Alexander, I think it is, who's their manager. He had a little bit of beef when he was a player and Eddie Howe was the manager over at Burnley. Eddie Howe dropped him. I don't think he particularly liked that. He spoke today in the press about, look, things have moved on. He understands it a lot more now as he's a manager, but back then as a player, he wasn't happy. He said he wasn't happy with Eddie Howe. It was one of the worst times of his career. So it could it could get a bit interesting. It could get a little bit spicy on the sideline. But I think, like I said, the Bradford managers probably learnt a lot, over the years of being in management, of how it actually is having to deal with players and how to deliver bad news. It can't always be positive. Sometimes you do have to give it, bad news out. And Eddie Howe telling the captain of Burnley as he comes in, look, you're not going to be playing. I'm looking to make the squad younger. It's always going to be a bit of an awkward situation, a bit of an awkward conversation. But he did speak in the same bit about, when he got his first job in the Football League. Might have been at Fleetwood or somewhere like that. Eddie Howe was the first person who messaged him and like, welcome to the madhouse, and they have had conversations since. So it goes to show you the class. Look, they've had a falling out, player and manager. That goes on. That happens. But they haven't let that dictate things and stuff. But it adds an extra little gambit, an extra little bit of story to tomorrow's matchup. And hopefully it's a nice, easy day at St James's Park. A couple of goals will be lovely. And hopefully Isula has a good game. He tends to play, doesn't he, against lower league opposition. But I just hope he stays central, offers a focal point, holds the ball up, brings others into play. What Voldemar has done very, very well, it must be said. I know he didn't score at the weekend, but there was lots of positives I felt from that game for Voldemar. He won't play today, but hopefully a similar performance from Isula. Like I say, getting the ball, passing that out to Gordon, passing that ball to Rolanga. Hopefully a few runners from midfield. I think Miley will probably start as a six in there as he did against Forest back when. And we'll see Willock and Bruno trying to get forward, trying to get around the striker, trying to give him support, because it is on the whole team to start scoring bloody goals. It's not always on just the forward, so everybody else has to chip in. And hopefully as well, we see some variations on the set pieces. You know, a goal off a set piece would be nice. A goal off a free kick would be nice. It's been a long, long time. We've got this new set piece guru in. So fingers crossed as each game goes by, we get a little bit better on them, because it's a little bit head scratching to why we're not scoring, set piece goals at the moment. You know, especially after the club's gone in a direction to bring in a specialist, for that area of the game. So that's pretty much it. I think it will be a difficult game. I think there will be one or two goals in it. I think Newcastle to score maybe two or three goals, 2 or 3-0 home win into the next round, and let's see who we get in the next round. It won't be Sunderland, that's for sure. But who could it be? Who would you want in the next draw? But just happy to be in the competition and thinking about all the happy memories from last season. Can we replicate it this season? And can we get to the next round of the cup? That's got to be the aim. There's no point us looking down our noses at the League Cup after what it gave the city and the club back in March. Absolutely fucking no chance that I'm looking down my nose at this one. A trophy is a trophy, and that's what we're in the game of getting at Newcastle United. So yeah, let me know your scores down below. What you think is going to happen? What's the team going to be? How's the game going to go? Is it going to be an easy one, or is it going to be the typical Newcastle United doing it anything but the easy way? Let me know down below in the comments. Subscribe to Magpie 24/7 on YouTube and across all the rest of our social media platforms. Check out the excellent work that Ian did as well with the podcast. That's on one of the other playlists on Magpie 24/7. Like I say, I listened to it, absolutely nailed it, enjoyed it, made the chores that I was doing at the same time an absolute breeze. So massive thumbs up to Ian for doing that. I'll be back after the game to let you know my thoughts on that one, and then starting to look ahead to the weekend and a massive game against Mikel Arteta. Can we make him cry again? Can we make him find another excuse for another defeat at St James's Park? Fingers crossed, but we're certainly taking no eyes off tomorrow's game, first of all, against Bradford in the League Cup. So I'll leave it there. Take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.